A family recital. Today, he and I were going to rehearse together. We set up in our usual spot, in the usual place.
There, how's that?
He plucked a string, checking its tune. Perfect! I listened a moment, then nodded. After we were married, he took up music. He was humble about it, calling it difficult, but I knew he had talent. It didn't take long before we could play duets. Performing together was amazing. Our melodies entwined and capered like dancers on the stage. I enjoyed it so much time would cease to exist. There were days when dusk fell before the last notes escaped our strings.
I think that's enough for today.
Yeah. His voice broke the spell, and we called an end to the day. We put away our instruments and went home. In the beginning, we only played for ourselves, but in time, the town square became our stage. The first request came from Arthur and Lady Ventuswil, wanting more public events. But while our duets were fun, part of me hoped for a trio one day. It never occurred to me we'd eventually have a quartet. In time, our cozy home expanded to include not one, but 2 children. A set of fraternal twins as cute as could be. Exposed to music since birth, they loved it, always copying the little tunes I would hum. They were curious about instruments too, touching and watching closely when we played. Oh, they're so cute! It's still too early for them, but they're figuring out how it works. I talked it over with my beloved. We decided when they were old enough, we would teach them to play. I would be so happy if they liked it, but I don't want to force them. Several months later, the day of their first music lesson finally arrived. We had let them play with instruments, but this was their first formal lesson. I went over the simple chord progression again. I hope they can do it. A part of me was nervous they wouldn't do as I taught them. Go on, let's try it. My children slowly started playing. They thought hard about the melody, plucking each note one by one. The atmosphere was tense and heavy, both fearing to make a mistake. "Ah," one of them said. They'd missed a note. I frowned, thinking. My children saw and blanched. My husband had managed it when I first taught him, but perhaps it was too hard for children. I don't want to frustrate them or make them sad. I sat and tried to figure out how to say that when he laughed. His reaction set bells ringing in my head. That's right, music is expression. There's no good or bad. You play with joy and your notes become song. Theirs was just another type of expression. Sheesh, I'm the musician. What was I doing? I picked up my instrument. Then I began to play, matching my song to that of my children's. When the notes came together, it was like magic. Their faces lit up as I joined them. Then he began to play. They say the whole is sometimes greater than the sum of its parts, and they're right. Quartets are so much fun. My children watched me carefully. Then they cautiously plucked out the notes, one by one. It's okay to play what you want. Have fun. And so they did. Tension turned to joy. When they made the earlier mistake and I frowned, that must have intimidated them. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, everyone. And thank you. After that, all 4 of us would go out to rehearse together. Apparently, a traveler walking by heard us one day and a rumor started. It said that if you passed by a certain field, you might hear a family of elves playing music. Their song was an auspicious one, and hearing it would bring you happiness.